I'm StanProfile here, and I suppose people are wondering why is this Q&A delayed. You know, this is June's Q&A and it's in the day of July. Everyone's probably wondering why what happened. Basically, let me explain what happened. What the plan was, everyone knew that my gig was on the 30th of June, which was in Brighton, and then I had the gig next day in Holloway. So what I was planning to do was, as soon as I come home from the Brighton gig, I would record the Q&A and then upload it just before it gets to midnight. So that would have been June. But the unthinkable happened. As I was coming home on the Brighton, when I was on the M25, I accidentally came out the wrong exit. I came out the wrong exit completely, and I made a mistake into another mistake into another mistake, and I was basically driving for more or less 3 hours on the trot, and the car was overheating, and I put the wrong liquid in. I put the wrong liquid in completely, and I blew the gasket in my car. My car is fucked now. The car's probably going to get fixed later on if but then again, I ain't got the money to fix it, and I think that so much shit has happened to that car already. I think it's time for a new car, but we have to see what happens with that, yeah. But right now, I ain't got no car. But it's a learning experience. Never been in a situation like that before. But you know what? But you know what happened when I did blow the gasket? I was stranded on the A20. I managed to get off the M25, and I managed to get back on the A20, which was kind of near London, and I was stranded there. And me and Shadadededededeshaa there was there for hours. We were there for hours, and I had to phone up for breakdown cover, and I had to register to something because I thought my name was already on it, but it wasn't. And man, one thing led to another one. It just, I mean, it was just mad. I came home like 2 o'clock. But enough about that now, yeah. So this is going to be the Q&A now, and I'll explain something at the end. So first question is from StanProfile. Are you going to see Prometheus? It's a sequel to the Alien movie. I'm probably I probably might not see it in the cinemas. I probably might just wait till one of my friends gets in. I'll probably just watch it around his house, because I don't know if I don't know. It's not something that I'm really hyped to see. You know what I mean? When you went to see Real Steel, did you saw the poster and trailer of the Thing prequel? I don't remember seeing the poster of that. I don't remember seeing. I don't remember seeing it at all. My eyes were always set on the robot cardboard cutouts, which I initially wanted. You know, when I was getting the poster for Real Steel, I was just too hyped for Real Steel. My mind did not see anything else, if you know what I mean. You know, but I watched the trailer when you sent the question, and it looks like the movie seems kind of interesting. Seems a bit similar to okay, maybe not exactly similar, but it seems similar to what I was going to do with a certain film, like when I was writing the script down and that. Hopefully it's not exactly the same. Martina007 asks, would you like to travel to Ireland and other countries across Europe non-stop? As long as you can save up, that's all I've got to say on that. That's right, as long as I can save up. I have trouble saving up. Like I just said, car's mash, might need a new car. That's already hard to save up now, isn't it? You know what I mean? Everything goes wrong there. Would I like to travel to other countries? Yeah, I definitely sure would. I'd like to travel to France. I'd like to travel to Germany, Switzerland, you know, Sweden. Wouldn't mind going to a few countries here and there. Second, Did you subscribe to the gun shop? If so, have you seen the vid about how the UK plans to invade every citizen's privacy? Every text, email, chat? Just wondering what's your thoughts on that. Seriously? Are you serious? I never heard nothing about this. Nothing. Well, I'm not planning to invade everyone's stuff. I don't know nothing about this. And yeah, the gun shop, I don't know him either. So yeah, I have not seen the video on it. That's kind of random. Definitely don't know nothing about that, man. And Zide12 asks, what are your thoughts on the Fallout games? Have you tried any of them? I think I've played the first ever Fallout, and didn't really think nothing of it, because in my opinion it just felt like another generic first-person shooter game. Are you going to get The Last of Us? It looked pretty impressive from the E3 gameplay. Which one was The Last of Us again? Was that the last one? The last game they showed? I think if it was the last one that I think they showed, yeah. Personally, I wasn't really impressed with any of the games in Sony's E3, to be honest. You know, games have just turned into the ways that it's just not for me no more. So there's nothing I can really say on that situation. Armo619 asks, I hear they're making a Justice League movie. If so, would you go to see it? Probably would, you know, because you know, I decided to give Avengers a try, and I kind of liked it. And Justice League, although I'm not into reading the comics that much, yeah, I did used to love watching the cartoon when it came on. And I guess this movie could be pretty great and unique. It's got a lot of action in there. And second, do you think the Justice League movie would be better than the Avengers movie? I doubt it, due to the fact that, you know, I'm a Hulk fan, and what they done with the Hulk in the Avengers movie was absolutely terrific. I really thought they were gonna really downplay the Hulk, but they didn't. You know, so fantastic. So, oh yeah, that was the second question. Venom3421 asks, have you heard of Team4star, the makers of Dragon Ball Z Abridged? If so, what do you think of them? No, I haven't heard of them. I haven't actually seen the Dragon Ball Z Abridged, because I thought millions of people have made abridged of this, like Little Kuribo done Yu-Gi-Oh, and then everyone else just started doing their own versions of every anime, so I'm not really sure which one's which. And second, do you plan on making another music video similar to Pulseriffic Currents? Now you see, I don't know if I plan to make it exactly similar to Pulseriffic Current, because I don't want to do, you know, everything too much the same, so that, you know, to get people bored of my stuff. But I do still want to try and make it, you know, futuristic, or, you know, really as unique as I can get it. But right now, like I've said in a past video, I've been completely I've just lost complete confidence. Like, how in the world am I going to make a video that's going to be just as good as it, you know, and hopefully won't take as long, because the last one took 14 months, boy. Jesus, that's a hard situation. But I do plan to make some. I do want to make some videos, but in the sense of planning, I haven't got any plans yet. I'm trying to get my music back on track, like getting more tracks done. I'm trying to do that at the moment. So, thanks for the concern on that though. And Cloner7H asks, have you heard of two legends, Osamu Dezaki and Edward Phil? Both legendary people died recently. All of them are going. What legends are you sad to see, that you sad that passed away? Michael Jackson. You know, I've always actually wanted to meet Michael Jackson. That will never happen. You know what I mean? And I thought it was a bit gutting when I heard Ryan Dunn passed away, because he was like one of the main guys in Jackass who used to do the stuff that could have easily killed someone or leave him smelling for the rest of his life, and he was always the one funny guy in that aspect. And it's like, unfortunately that didn't get, unfortunately that we ain't gonna see him again, because the funny thing is Jackass, they're still making films for Jackass, they're still doing things for Jackass, and sadly Ryan Dunn won't be in any of them anymore, so it's really unlucky, that is. Second, have you heard of a group called Plaid? I think it's called Plaid. They do awesome music. They'd make you go like, I did this show! As you can see, my voice is gone. I can't even do that no more. Nah, it's because I got a bit of a cold. That's why that didn't come out right. They also did the music for Tekkon Kinkreet. Is that another Tekken film that I missed up? Tekkon Kinkreet? I ain't heard of that. What's been happening? Alright, now Plaid, yes, I have heard some of Plaid's tracks. I remember they had a song, I think it was called Orange something, and I completely lost the rest of the name. Was it Orange Flash? I can't remember, but I remember listening to some of their tracks and I did like it. I think they made a track on one of the Wipeout games as well, and I remember liking that as well. But their music is very awesome. There's loads of people out there who I like that does awesome music. You know, some of my favourites, of course, is Cold Storage, Zircon, Raphael Deal, and Module. You know, all their music is just absolutely terrific. So now htaste asks, who are people in your life you know you can depend upon? Well, my parents for one. Shadadedededeshaa Arts is definitely someone who's really been a good friend and really helped out with my career a damn lot. He's done way too much for me. My friend Anthony and Kevin and Flan, who you saw in my birthday video, definitely can depend on them guys. At certain points in times I can depend upon my brother. And then my old childminder, who used to look after me since I was a young, until I was a baby, since I was a baby, sorry, yeah. She still today gives me advice, she still today helps me along certain aspects, and she even helps me through some depression times I've had as well. You know, she's still like a second mum to me. So these are all the people I can depend upon, definitely. What are 5 activities that rule your daily life? One is UFC, whether I'm buying some UFC merchandise or whether watching some videos on UFC, because the UFC website usually adds a new video at least once every 2 days, and then when it's a fight week like it is to this week, yeah, they also add loads of videos, so I'm always watching some videos, and when UFC is on I'm always going to be watching that. Another activity I always have is listening to music, whether it's my music or other people's music. That's about it really. And another activity, I don't know if you're going to classify this as activity, is me working. Whether it's me working on music or animation, you know, I'm always working on that every day. But does that classify as an activity? When you say activity, do you mean activity besides me working? What other 2 activities I can put on? Guess another one is playing games. You know, I usually play some retro games or some games for the PS3. And the fifth thing is always writing out messages and emails, because I'm usually writing to companies trying to see if anyone's looking for a video game composer for their video game, or you know, just trying the best I can to just always get my name out there, really. So that's kind of what's my daily life at the moment. Alright, next is bboyagenttekken, and the first one is, have you seen No Evil with Kane from WWE? No, I haven't seen it. Didn't know Kane was in a film. What are some of your favourite songs by Enrique Iglesias? I can never pronounce that guy's name. And why? I only like one song, just one song from that guy, and I forgot what the bloody name of the song is. I remember it came out and it played almost every day, and I used to love listening to that tune again and again and again. Oh man, can't remember the song. Maybe there might be an annotation on the screen there that might say it. If you heard of him, okay, yeah. And Andy14324 asks, what was the first DVD you ever bought? X-Men. And second, would you like to see a Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct? I heard Aussie YouTuber TotalMK would like to see something like that, so check him out when you can. Probably would check him out soon. Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct, to be honest, it's a game that would obviously work. It's something that everyone can see happening, you know. Reptile versus Saber Wolf, you know. It's definitely a game, because, you know, it's got its mega combos and everything that it's got its moves. So I can see it being a terrific game, really. But I don't know if Killer Instinct will ever come back. StockyDoccy now asks, I'm looking reading one. How did your weekend gigs go? Did you learn anything from your experience? Sure have learned something from my experience. Make sure you put the right liquid in there next time you're driving back. And next time, you don't make no mistakes where you're driving extra long distances. Because the funny thing is, right, yeah, the gigs went so perfect, right, yeah, the Brighton gig especially, it went so goddamn wicked, right, but then when this happened with the car, it really messed me up. It was like a fantastic day that went to a horrible ending. But anything like to learn from music experience. One thing I think it's about time I do. I think it's about time I get a new board, something there that can stay to the ground. Because I mean, as you can see from the gigs here, I do jump around. I try and I try and play the music and create a show as much as I can. But when I jump, I ain't jumping as much as I could be jumping, because everything shakes, and I usually get afraid that the table will fall over. So I've got to and trying to play the melody while jumping is really, really hard. At some points I get it good, some points I don't. So what I want to do as well is try and use Fruity Loop's new performance mode, and it might be a little bit more easier to perform the music, you know, and doing something creative with the performance, and, you know, jump with it, and, you know, just go with it as much as I can. So later on, hopefully I'll be able to do some more gigs and sort of learn a bit more, yeah, while doing the performance mode. Ever thought of doing UFC training in your local area or any sport or combat for training, fitness purposes or competition? I have been thinking of doing it for training fitness purposes, right? I've been planning to do Muay Thai for training fitness. Problem on that situation is just money. You know, I'm always saving up, yeah, for something else that it's hard to just come into a situation where I'm now paying 20 or 30 pounds a week to do training in certain something. You know, it's not something that I'm able to do right now, so unfortunately no. And joeyrealgamer asks, have you managed to watch any of the E3 2012 yet? And if so, what were the highlights for you? I think the Nintendo E3 had the best stuff in it, really. I think the Wii U has definitely got some great ideas in it. Got some cool stuff. It's not... I don't know if I'm still going to buy it though, because I'm not really sure about buying any more consoles, no new age, and any of the new age consoles. And there's been a video that I've been meaning to do about this for a long time, and I think it's about time I really sit down and try and get that video done. So I'll speak to you on that situation later on. When I look at big movies this year, past, current and upcoming movies, I realise most of them are reboots, sequels or continuations. Do you think this is a hint that the film industry may be struggling to produce fresh original ideas to put in cinemas? Nope, I do not think that is what the situation is. I just think the situation is that the directors and everything like that only care about money. They don't give a shit about just anything else but money. You know, this is where they say films have become way too commercial now. No one wants to try anything new, you know, because they only want to do something that they know will sell. You know, how easy will you know that the Karate Kid would sell? So just do a reboot of that and boom, you know it's going to sell. They don't want to try anything new that could, you know, no, they don't know if they don't know if anyone could be into it or this and that. Yeah, I always say, you know, I believe that they should try and bring out something different instead of doing the same thing all the time and all that. That's one of the reasons why I respect Shane Leahy quite a lot, because he comes out with a lovely comedy film like Night in the Museum. I thought that was a bit different. And then what else does he come out with? Real Steel, bam. You know, not every day, yeah, we see robots boxing and smashing each other to pieces. That's what makes that film original, yeah, for me. And you know, it's funky how a concept like for a film like that, it took this long to come out with it. And no one would just come up with anything random, you know, different, you know, because anyone who just like has a different idea and everything like that, you know, people just say it's just stupid anyway before they've even actually watched it or even tried it. You know, it's things like that, yeah, in the industry that I believe just messes up everything, really. You know, people are just doing it just for the money, no passion in it or whatsoever, and that's what I think is wrong. That's why I think there's just reboots and sequels, because everyone's got ideas. You know, I know there's millions of ideas still growing around. No one just wants to try them because they just, you know, because they want to make sure it's successful. They want to make sure it earns money or more money than whatever. You just want to make sure, you know. But oh well. That's all the questions there, guys. Yep. So once again, I haven't got my car, but like I said, yeah, guys, yeah, the gigs went well, and definitely want to show some footage, yeah, of the gigs, yeah, on YouTube soon. And gonna put my pictures on my Facebook as well. So that's all I've got to say at the moment. Yep. Is there any new videos that I've got planned? There's probably gonna be a video on UFC 148 this Saturday. Because UFC 148 is this Saturday, so I might do a video on that because of the fact that this is probably one of the biggest events that we've been waiting for about 2 years now. So I definitely got to speak about that. And so I've got something to... So that's all I've got to say, guys, though, man. And the next Q&A is still going to be in July. I'm going to do it earlier, you know, so try and start getting your questions in a bit earlier, because I'm going to try and get everything back on track and say the July Q&A in July and not in August. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you all later. Love you all.